Oh, that was a weird transition. It wasn't a very clean transition, but here we are.
We
Welcome.
did it.
We did it.
Hi.
Also, can I tell you, I was trying to figure out last week how to get my good webcam to work.
Hmm.
It was in the settings, bitch. Can you believe that I
Can
had
you?
Can you believe that it was in the settings that I had to change the settings to get it to work? Truly,
I am proud of you.
thank you so much. Welcome to another episode of Your Favorite Ants, the podcast and live show where we will go to great lengths to give you accurate information
Mm-hmm.
and we'll climb every mountain, ford every stream. Truly, for you.
Yeah, we want to be your favorite internet ants who respond to everything that's going on in the world around
Yeah,
them
yeah. We
and
we got
you.
yeah, and you. I want to know what's going on in your life. So if you are joining us live on the air, we would love to say hello to you. We've got Shane and we've got David. And as we are going along, sometimes we'll throw this little chat overlay like later in the show when we're talking about our opinions. We want to hear from you and have you dialogue along with us. So if
Please.
you're
Yes.
here, go ahead and say hello. Tell me where you are in the world. And yeah, we got Steve/Richie from New Zealand. Whoa, New Zealand.
I know. We can't wait to come see you.
Yeah, listen, please let us in. Apparently, there's
Listen.
apparently some billionaire or somebody who recently purchased a New Zealand visa,
Ooh.
basically they citizenship. They purchased citizenship in
I
New
don't.
Zealand. You can do it if you if you invest like $7 billion. And I just so happen to not have $7 billion. So
Ugh.
hey Gary in Missouri, hey Shane in New York, hey David in Charlotte,
I love
Katie
that
in
Shane
Indiana.
says, I'm from New York, the state, not the city. It's different.
It is very different.
It's different.
Well, today on the show, we've got a whole lot of lovely things lined up for
Can't wait.
y'all.
Mhm.
We're going to be checking in on some pop culture stuff as well as talking about. I mean, it's already in the episode title. We're talking about, he kissed dating goodbye, and then he said my bad, and we're like, okay, cool. He's
Yeah.
maybe he's getting his shit together. Maybe he's, but white men are gonna white men. So
You know what? I was my first book. I have a memoir that was never published, but I wrote a memoir called "Dating Kiss Me Goodbye: The Story of a Female Pastor."
you
And
mean
I,
that? I mean, it's not too late, Sarah. It's
I mean,
not too late.
not too late. Maybe I'll profit off of him since he's such a fan of that. Anyway, let's not start
Mm.
there. Let's start with me asking you an important question. How the hell are you?
I would put myself at a solid 5 today, if I'm being honest.
Mm,
I am tired. I've had a lot of anxiety, actually since Pray Away came out, which is very
mm,
interesting. Um, and I had some people, like friends of mine, who had some negative feedback, and just it's valid feedback. And we can get into this when we revisit some of the stuff, if we want to. But I think from there I had this giant not anxiety spiral. It's more like this growing pit in my stomach that I'm now noticing. I was like, oh, I didn't notice that there before.
would
Like
you consider it like a trauma activation?
probably, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's some very young part of me, some young and very performative part of me that feels very afraid of. I mean, frankly, it's there's a very young part of me that's scared of getting canceled.
Mm,
And I actually, rather than freaking out more about it and spinning around in my feelings, I actually wrote it all out and I shared it with my Patreon community.
hmm.
And I was like, this is what I'm afraid of, because I see this happening to this person and this happening to this person. And then my coach reminded me too, he's like, Kevin, you are not those people. You did not actually benefit off of hurting other people for many, many years. And then you also didn't have to repent of it. So why are you worried about having to have the same problems as some other cishet white dude when you are not a cishet white dude?
I think part of it is though it's reasonable, right? I think there's a reasonable fear that we have, like of that we're gonna harm someone even when
Hmm.
we don't mean to, and that's called like not being a sociopath.
Yeah.
And then there's also the fear of like because we've changed,
Mm-hmm.
that we're gonna change and recognize that the person that we were before was damaging, and then have to go back, right?
Hmm.
I don't think it's wrong to have that fear. I think
Yeah.
it's just we just need to be gentle with each other. And I think right now people aren't gentle with each other. And there's some really nasty
Hmm.
stuff that we'll talk about in a little bit. But I think
Nasty.
yeah.
Oh, how
Um
nasty are we gonna get, Sarah? Oh.
oh
How the hell are you doing though? How would you rate your time in this life?
I had a big I'm gonna try to get it in the camera. I had a big fall the other
Oh
day.
shit, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get it up there. Show all the people. Get it
Yeah, all the
real.
people, I don't know, there.
Dang, it's scabbing
It's
over nicely though.
mhm. And I had some, I'll be honest, I had some child responses as well. So I grew up with parents who are incredible, but they're both in the medical field. And they tend to, you're fine. And they didn't do that this time when I fell. So I was running and I was trail running. And the funny part is I was just thinking about how much like we don't play enough as adults. So I was like
Hmm.
having fun, like hopping over rocks and whatever. And then I fell in the air, probably like pretty far,
Hmm.
and my whole body skidded along rocks. Well, all my friends here, most of them are in the medical profession. Not all of them. My dear friend April is not. She was cute when I texted her. She's like, "Come over." She's like, "But I'm just like a mom, so I don't really know what I do. Just put like water on it and give you a popsicle."
Yeah,
But
that's really
yeah,
like the part of you that was actually wounded, your soul.
right. It was more my a little bit of my ego, but also I had that childhood responses. I want somebody to take care of me.
Mm,
And my dear friends who are here are also elite athletes, so their responses was like rub some dirt in it. And I wanted to say like my whole life people have been telling me to rub some dirt in it, and I just needed to hear, wow, that looks hard and I bet it hurts. And so just that kindness, but I know that that's just not how some people are. And so
mhm,
and they're kind, they're wonderfully kind people. But I had some embarrassment that came up. We were talking about like
mhm.
non-reasonable feelings is like I was embarrassed that I fell, which like it's fine to fall, guys. Like it's fine.
It's
People
very
fall.
normal.
I also don't have to be the best athlete all the time. I can be someone who falls. I don't have to be, but it had that same reaction where I thought, what does this mean about who I am? It's stupid. It was just a
I know,
fall.
it's just like, what does this fall? Like, what does this mean? If I can't even run this trail, how am I ever supposed to like get my shit together?
And that
That's
is
literally
exactly
where our brain goes.
I know. And so I remember that day, which it was only 2 days ago, but you were like, just be gentle with yourself. And so
Hmm.
other people weren't being gentle necessarily to me. Once they were off work, they were really kind and people were great. But I, I started being gentle with myself
Hmm.
and just kind of saying like it's funny. And also it's not going to stop me from running, of course. But yeah. And so today I had to do a video for an event I'm speaking at, and I had a lot of
Hmm.
fun doing it. But I also
Nice.
recognized in myself, I spent most of my day doing stuff I hate. I hate editing videos. It's just,
Oh,
I'm
it's the
great at coming
fucking
up with
worst.
ideas. I'm great at coming up with the ideas, but I don't like staring at my own face for that long. So
I'm the
I'm feeling
same
a little
way. That's the same
exhausted.
reason the reason I haven't like broken into YouTube as much, because like hearing my voice is like one thing, but then like also like having to like watch me make mistakes like in such a visceral way is like not my fave.
Right. And I think there's just some weird self judgment. But I will tell you, as someone who I actually posted a picture of my injuries while I was only wearing a sports bra, which was like I was wearing
Hmm.
shorts, but and I normally wouldn't do that as a someone who had been a pastor, and I still have that purity culture thing in my head a little bit. Like, what are
Hmm.
people going to think? I was like, I hope people think there's a runner who fell and has cuts all over themselves.
And that's exactly what they fucking thought.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably also said, "Ooh, take."
As what everyone said. So I'm doing okay. You and I are definitely in a place of both of us are kind of
We're
a
having a
little
fucking week.
exhausted. We are.
Yeah,
We're working it out, and it looks like I'll be coming back up to Oregon in October, and so my life is starting to come together a little bit. So
rock
that's
and roll.
exciting.
See, you know exactly what you're doing. Um,
Yes.
Anyways, so shall we transition into our first segment of the episode?
Did you hear?
It's called Did You Motherfucking Hear? It's not called Did You Motherfucking Hear, just called Did You Hear? It's pop culture and shit. And we've got, well, I'll give you the choice. Do you want to start off with revisiting Pray Away? And just because, like,
Yeah, sure.
I feel like it all kind of like culminates together.
Yeah, it all kind of goes together. Wait, you muted yourself. No, you didn't. And we're back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, great. There you are.
Check 1, 2. We here?
There you are. Yes.
I can't hear you though. What the fuck?
Oh no.
Hold
I can
on.
hear you great. People who are
I
watching,
hate when things don't work. Yeah, I can't. Let's do internal speakers then.
Da da da.
There you go. Sorry
Hi.
about that, everyone. You bump one fucking wire and it's like, oh, I can't work anymore.
I mean, but same, if we're honest.
It's the most frustrating, like, fucking thing in the world. Like, this is what makes me so. I shouldn't be mad at something like this because it's just a microphone. But I really just want things to be very smooth right now. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the first thing we want to talk about is Brian Houston of Hillsong.
Yeah.
What are we gonna?
He's the founder of Hillsong. That version of it, but it sounds like his father was the pastor of the church before that.
Yeah, he inherited it from his father. But as the story goes, that Brian Houston of Hillsong has been covering up a lot of bad shit. Namely, he has actually been charged with covering up for
a sexual assault.
Yeah, sexual assault on the part of his father, apparently, who committed the assault in the 70s. His
father's passed away. Yeah.
Yeah, his dad's already dead, but he covered it up actively, apparently. And of course, the church was coming to his defense and like all that shit. And he's just like, "Oh, I want to set the record straight." But I'm like, oh, why are we surprised? You know, it's like, for me, it's like, oh yeah, it was only a matter of time. It was literally only a matter of time before something like this came out.
Do you feel that way because it has felt like these are people who are so concerned with what's going on in the bedroom that there's something sketchy going on for them? Is that why? Or do you mean that because these people are made into such sort of people who are on pedestals, and so then their behavior? Which part of it was not surprising for you?
Everything you just said is everything that I'm not surprised about. People who get away with notoriously horrible shit. People who are able to cover up and silence victims. And it's one of these things where, like, sure, I want to, when I see like the big system, yes, I can see that we're all in some ways victims of a church system that does not allow us to be our full and authentic selves. And as a result, people get hurt because of our inability to live authentically. And at the same time, you did something really, really fucking stupid and bad and you hurt people. And now you're going to have to deal with the consequences. And the reason I guess the thing I'm not surprised is because, like, I mean, Catholics aren't the only ones who have skeletons in their closet, baby.
Nope.
Not by a long shot.
I think the interesting part is that for me that there's a law where I'm not sure that in the US they would go after someone who generationally was covering things up. Because it is within a system, but I wonder where the legality would come in. It just is very interesting that this is happening now when that happened in the 70s. And I think the switchover didn't, like, he was also very young when all this was happening. So the law isn't going after him, obviously, at that time. But when the transference of leadership happened, they didn't really say why they were actually transferring leadership.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and I think more and more folks who have been complicit is becoming more of a conversation around how do we hold people accountable to what they're witnessing. And I think that's because people are afraid to be whistleblowers, and I can't imagine it's your own father, right? There's so much pain in that. But the reaction now is the part that I think re-traumatizing a lot of people. So fascinating. We'll wait to see. His trial isn't until October, or until not even a trial. I think evidence doesn't start coming out till October, right?
Je ne sais pas. I haven't actually looked. I read one article on it. So, yeah.
I mean, that's all we've got to say. Anyone else have anything to say about Hillsong?
Yeah.
All I know is that the reason that Kevin brought this up is I had a friend who was adamantly just talking about
how great they are.
I was saying that Hillsong for me is a really difficult place because a lot of my ministry when I was a pastor, I was the person who was having to like help folks after they had gone through a difficult experience at Hillsong. So that's why I had some feels.
Yeah, because in a place like Hillsong, and like I was in church places like that all the time, and the whole thing about like places like Hillsong, it's like they are very much spirit driven, very feelings led, and it's like they don't even know how manipulative they're being, but they invest their whole heart into this thing because they think that this is the way to holiness, to having like this deep spiritual experience. And they're having these big emotional spiritual experiences also coupled with really, really bad theology. And then when they can't seem to change for whatever reason, they can't stop masturbating. They can't stop being gay. They can't stop, whatever it is, like it does a whole lot of fucking damage. And so, yeah.
Yeah, it's Caitlin brings up a good point. So Brian is the one who started Hillsong. His father was a pastor in the Assemblies of God.
Oh, yeah.
Because I knew that Hillsong isn't that old, and I know that kind of the lore around it is that it was a youth group. And Caitlin, you can totally correct me if that's wrong, but I think they were like the younger youth movement within a church, and then rose up and became the generation.
Every single person thinks of the generation.
I know.
And the thing is, like, every single generation is the generation if they actually want to do the work.
Oh, so we're gonna talk. I think we can move from this one. I want to say, so I still have not watched Pray Away because I've needed to be in a situation where I was with some folks. My friend watched it and said it was fantastic, but watched it in community. So I have read the critiques, both positive and negative. So I feel like I can weigh in a little bit here, but I just wanted to open that back up for you to talk a little bit, because I know that that's been a really painful experience for you, and actually a little bit just because I know some of the filmmakers. So
yeah, I've just been reading the discourse around how people received the film, and so what I can recognize is that a lot of people's reactions that seemed to me to be harsh, I have to recognize that this film was super activating for everybody and super, triggering. And so, like, even if you are like someone like me who has been in therapy for a long time, you still got big feels about it.
Right. And you may not even have feels about the documentary itself. You may have feels in reaction to people's reaction to it even.
Exactly. And I was having a lot of feelings about other people's reactions to the film, even though I did not have a hand in making the film. I did not produce it. I'm just somebody who helped contribute my story. And then also I'm helping with promotion, but that's purely pro bono out of like me wanting to do that. Some of the reactions I heard, and that I think that they're fair, and this also will play into our next topic that we're going to talk about in a second, is around how the documentary centered the people who were at the very top or the center of the ex-gay movement in the beginning, including and not limited to Julie Rogers, who was a child when she was brought into that world and like made to stand on a stage and tell her story and want that all for the glory of God.
If you don't know what this is, by the way, I realize we're using a lot of in talk. Pray Away is a documentary about conversion therapy.
Yeah. And so the critique was just like, I don't understand why there was not more airtime given to more survivor stories and people who are not at the top. Or like people like, it's like someone said like we're platforming them. And I'm like, I don't know if that's completely true. I think because they were not paid to be a part of that documentary, You know, they
Oh,
don't get any kickback. I'm pretty sure like they volunteered to story because it's like we want to make things right as we possibly can. And at the same time, so this is where I guess it like transitions really well, is because like I can understand why the documentary did what it did, because it has a very particular point of view telling a very particular story, and you cannot get everything in one documentary and make it cohesive and
no.
make it actually have a singular point. And the singular point of Pray Away was, as long as there is some sort of belief that homosexuality is a sin, there will exist some kind of ex-gay therapy program. That was the point of the movie. And the point of the movie is to say also to show like how we can stop this from being a politicized thing that actually takes root in the rest of government. And I also understand, again, I'm the person I'm seeing everything from 1,000 different sides. Which I think is different than what is happening with like Josh Harris. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
So like with like the leaders that are interviewed, or the ex-leaders who are interviewed in Pray Away, the people who are just like, no, I was wrong. I needed to change my mind.
There's some bravery and boldness in that, because some people just dig in really tight.
Yeah, because they think they have to. They're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that's like what like the people who like the guy who was like, yeah, I was delivered from transgender lifestyle. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I get it. Like I was there. I was trying to pray away my own transgender lifestyle, but lols. But the thing that happened today, if you have been on Twitter or anything, but it was like 2 days ago, but like Josh Harris released.
Joshua Harris, who wrote the book I Kissed Dating Goodbye. Joshua Harris is the person who basically suggested that we should all be in courting relationships until we find the one.
Yeah, because dating is only okay if you're going to marry that person. That's the rules, right? And so it was just not good for a lot of us. You know what I'm saying?
So he came out. Yeah, it was. I broke up with the guy I was seeing upon reading this book in a book group.
You did?
Oh yes.
No way, dude.
No, I needed to court more people, and I just like made out with him too much, so I needed to like,
save it for your husband.
Yeah, which I'm not married, guys. Spoiler alert. That hasn't worked out yet.
Not yet.
But not yet. But I think there was just this. It helped an entire generation still see women as things that needed to be saved from our separation from being like, until you find your one, which is
you are incomplete.
You're incomplete. And it was really traumatic for a lot of us. I remember I went through a breakup and I was so sad. And my friend said to me, Sarah, do you not believe that God has a one for you? And I wasn't sure. Still not sure sometimes. Most days, sure, no. But we were like in the midst of this conversation. She said, you could just be hiding in this apartment and he would just show up. And then she like gave me this book. And so it's like one of those things of like, be waiting for the guy.
You could be hiding in his apartment. He's going to come find you in this apartment that you're hiding in right now from him.
Right. But the thing that people don't realize is that some of that language suggests as though God, the people who aren't chosen aren't even chosen by God. So God wrote your love story. Why didn't I get a love story written? Like there's nothing you can do. He'll just show up. And Nicholas sparks your entire understanding of relationship where you're just a damsel in distress, hoping someone will break down the door and show up. Right? And you're a lady in waiting, just hoping. So Joshua Harris did that. Then Joshua Harris, experienced life and realized that his message was damaging. He did apologize on all kinds of podcasts and things like this. Then the last couple of days,
and then so
shade section,
it was one of those things where it's just like, you know what? There is hope for men out here. Here's somebody who's repenting, doing the work, like, trying to suggesting women's books.
Right.
The whole nine, doing really, really good. And then the other, I guess it was 2 days ago, he released a little online course called Reframe Your Story or Reframing Your Story. And it's a deconstruction course to the tune of like 297 doll hairs. Or if you were harmed by purity culture or his books, you can get it for free by using, you can use the offer code GIFT and get it for free.
Okay, well, that makes me feel better about it.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
I just need to know in the comment section, did anyone else read this book, or am I old?
No,
did anyone else read this book?
Yeah, if anyone in the chat or if you're listening later, if you read the book, tell us on Twitter, tag us. But so there was two things that it was interesting to me. So I want to hear your thoughts first on your thoughts, dear Sarah. I am listening. The floor is open.
Here are my thoughts on this. I understand right now that deconstruction is a hot topic, and people really do need help as they're coming out of their faith communities. Mm-hmm. Do I think the person that harmed folks should be said shepherd? I'm not entirely sold on that. I think.
It low key gives me the vibes of the let me run away because I got kicked out for being a pastor over here. I'm just gonna start doing pastors over here. I'm just gonna be a pastor over here now, even though I didn't do anything. It's just I understand that you said sorry, but just I'm not gonna put you in the same room as any of my kids.
I do love. I will tell you. 5 minutes ago, I had a different reaction to it. 5 minutes ago, before I could have known that you could get it for free, it very much felt like one of those situations of I've harmed people, but now I'm going to fix them. Mm-hmm. That just felt a little ooey-gooey to me. Mm-hmm. I also understand that he may want to bring freedom to people who have experienced what he has experienced, because from what I understand, he himself has gone through deconstruction and wants to, kind of help people through their own spiritual transition. I think it's hard for those of us who have done a lot of work. Ooh, someone just put in, thank you for putting great words. So Charlotte just put great words in the chat. This is kind of giving language to it. You can't be healed by the folks who harmed you. Right. You
keep reading it.
Yeah. Josh is in no position to be leading folks out of the harm he caused.
And that's the thing that that really is the thing. It's just I know that you want to help as much as you can, and this is not the way, sis. Here's my, and this is probably me erring on the side of hoping for the best in people, is understanding I wonder if he probably had a very sincere belief that this is how he come. And also just he's another white dude in this position. So it's just he's going to Donald Miller it. He's going to take anything he can get because he's trying to pay his bills after he basically got rid of all of his income. And so just
he got rid of his income, and that's the part I feel, right? So we also have to recognize that I am someone who just left working in a local church, and so I can understand because it's the same thing for me, right? I want to step into doing the work of helping people. I don't know how to not do that because that's the community I care about. Now maybe the difference is hopefully I didn't harm people in the same way.
Girl. And that is the thing I have to put my own hat on too. I think this was also a little bit where my anxiety was coming from today, because even though and I've had conversations with even folks who are here watching the live of just trying to be a person of integrity on the internet, who's trying to be a leader out there, because it really is two different things. Josh Harris had a whole fucking career that was built upon something that harmed people, a lot of people. And those ideas did not stop just because that book is now out of print. And that's really unfortunate. And Charlotte, you said it, Justice need to leave us alone and go work out his shit with a professional. And that's really the tea.
I think he has. And I think now but it's almost like, do you remember when you meet your friend who just became a Christian and they want everybody to feel the freedom that they feel? And they don't realize that they may not be the person who needs to be sharing about this thing that they just became a part of. I think for Josh, he's just feeling the freedom of having stepped outside of that. And now he's like, I just want everyone to feel this. And then when you're trying to figure out how to do that in a capitalist society, it's like, and I should market it. It's the fear that all of us, and I think because you and I are in a gigging economy, because you and I are both speakers, we have that fear of like, am I doing the same thing? Am I working my shit out, making money while I do it? That's like our fear, right? And sometimes it feels real. You know, someone just wrote in here, sorry, the new evangelical said, rest in peace, Donald Miller. See, for me, Donald Miller's never said he was a pastor. So for him doing, learn how to sell your books and learn how to think through this stuff, I don't mind him doing that. I do mind that he interviewed some people that were not stellar.
Like it's one of those things where just like Donald Miller, like he was a writer in early Christianity, then moved on to something else. So like, you know,
everyone shifts and moves. And I think our biggest fear is that in shifting and moving, there is this fear that will never like be accepted, right? And that's the inner work. And I love the new thank you for answering. The new evangelical said, I don't mind either, I just miss his writing. His writing was really great.
Blue Like Jazz was the moment. Blue Like Jazz was the mood. Let's not forget.
And that was a different thing. I think it's hard too, because you can't really not that we're comparing Donald Miller and but Donald Miller is the one who helped Josh Harris do this course, isn't he? Am I making that up?
Could not tell you, but if he did, lols. If he did, that's fucking funny to me. Like that's just like
the difference is that Donald Miller's work was coming from his perspective and saying, this is what my experience was. I'm sharing my experience. And then, it's the other.
And it really just kind of comes down to the fact that just like history, like there are certain sins. You still got to atone for your sins. There is forgiveness, but that means just like, that does not mean that you get to lead youth group again, girl. Sorry.
Here's also what I'm going to say. Are you ready?
Also, real quick, can we just like these Blue Like Jazz quotes? I feel like Blue Like Jazz at 16 legit put me here. And then Charlotte is roasting me saying Blue Like Jazz was the moment 15 years ago.
Well, Charlotte, we owed, honey. We owed.
But that is true. It was the moment 15.
And it was helpful. You know, I have friends who had no voices in the wilderness. They had no voices in the wilderness. They either believed what all their family believed or they weren't welcome anywhere. And they felt this voice in the wilderness coming from Blue Like Jazz. And also like some of my friends who had really difficult dad relationships, Donald Miller gave them a voice for that.
Yeah, that was it was Taming a Dragon, I think it was called.
But I got to tell you, there is something to be said about the cisgender white male who has to master things and then needs to teach you how to master that thing.
Oh my God. The blogger who teaches other bloggers how to blog.
Right.
The person who teaches other coaches how to be coaches.
Yeah, except our friend does that and he's super good to do it.
He's different. And see, this is where like where do we draw the line?
Where do we draw the line?
Catch a Dragon. That's what it was called. Thank you.
Yes. I think I'm hoping that people learn how to pause and take a breath and maybe just like let it, like, I don't know. I think I should sign up for the course and just take it, see what's up, see what it says. I don't really want to do that.
I mean, you can get it for free. Investigative journalism, Sarah. Because like the deal, like here's
the tea. Spill the tea. Spill the tea.
Nah, it's just not very tactful. You know, it shows, in my opinion, a lack of awareness of, you know, the temperature of the water that you're trying to dip your toe in. Like, if you want to come in the water, like, don't come in the water trying to sell me a floaty when I know how to swim.
It feels like another way of dominance. It feels like another way of like, wait a minute, I don't know my place here. My place should be at the front of the room.
Yeah, don't.
So someone said earlier you should amplify their voices. I think that's the truth.
Yeah.
They should have
Don't big boy
amplified.
your way to the front of the class again. Like, honestly, a really good person to look at is John Steingard. Over there minding his own business, interviewing his friends, just having fun, being real chill. You know, I think Micah J. Murray is another good one who's like, I'm gonna get educated. I'm gonna just talk about my shit. You know,
Those are good humans.
Yeah. Also, everybody, this is Chip the dog.
Tippy.
She's here.
Oh, guys, I was recording my video today that had to be 25 minutes long. And I did the intro. And I always, when I do these, like when I'm going to do a conference, my policy with myself is that I'll do it in one take because I want it to be the same experience you'd have if you were in a room with me. I don't want to have like too well edited because I want it to be an experience like a this is happening now moment. And my dog started throwing up in the middle of it.
Did you keep it in?
No, I ended up starting again. But then I did a whole thing about authenticity and the fact that my dog was throwing up in the back.
I'm just like, I have to let you know this is take number 4 that I had to do this for you, for y'all, for you, Chippy.
The New Evangelicals makes an excellent point. One of the angles of this Josh thing is that Josh will have a platform solely because of his notoriety, not because he's a qualified counselor, licensed therapist, nor is he putting forward a licensed therapist. Like, that's the thing, right? You can say this is my experience and I want to journey with you in it. It's an interesting thing. I kind of want to know more. So there it is. Those are my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead.
No, you said also.
I was going to say, also, did you hear that Britney Spears' dad is stepping down?
And so is Jamie Spears.
I know.
Listen, the Lord delivered Britney from Egypt. She was in the land of bondage for many a year. But what did God say? Let my good bitch go.
The Lord said, it's Britney, bitch.
And he said, if I said you want your body now, would you hold it against me?
What won't God do?
Come on, Charlotte.
Also, I'm ready if you want to move on to grievances, if you're ready.
What did I have? I mean, again, like I worked all my grievances out just now in here, unless you have anything else.
I do. I am very frustrated by this thing.
I'm ready to listen to your grievance and I'm ready to
I have a tough time with hypocrisy, guys.
Okay.
Knowing full well.
You have a hard time with hypocrisy, Sarah? No.
Because I you know me, I get nervous about okay. So we, President Biden wanted to give the Congressional Medal of Honor to all the police that protected the Capitol. And all of the Republicans, every one of the Republicans on that committee voted no.
And no one is surprised because they hate blue lives.
But that's the thing is like, these are the people that have the Blue Lives Matter stuff. And now you're saying, to me, it hit
like
me
these are the people who like literally like because if those civilians got in the room, they don't care who's a Democrat or who's a Republican. They wanted to hang people on the Capitol steps. They had nooses set up.
They had Jesus stuff where apparently Jesus was going to kick people's asses.
It was truly.
Do you have no shame, Republicans? I just want to know.
No, they don't.
And I do not look. I literally am a Canadian. So when I vote, I usually vote on topic. I am not a partisan person necessarily, but I got to tell you.
She's a partisan now. She registered. Yeah, absolutely. In this moment, like I'm always open to change my mind. I voted Democrat down the bill. I'm a registered Democratic socialist. So I am all for socialism. I am all for changing the thing dramatically. I'm also like working for a DSA campaign in Atlanta, so I'm like pretty hyped up.
I'm just saying, just be honest, because you should be ashamed. I think your constituents, Republicans, aren't going to be proud of you not backing those police officers. And unless you hear, some of them are dealing with such bad PTSD. Another one committed, took their life. Because of what happened that one day. And nobody's talking about it because it's inconvenient for people to recognize that maybe it's not such a political thing. Maybe it's that these people, I mean, it's just like you said, it didn't matter what party it was. They were going after their own. And they haven't stopped going after their own, because every one of the Republican people that said this is not okay, they've gone after them. Okay, that's my rant.
I love it when you get angry. No, I'm dead ass, Sarah. I think that like you getting angry, like it's very it's good.
I turn red a little bit, and I have this vein in my head like Julia Roberts that pops out.
Mm-hmm.
I
like it.
So just a little fun fact about me. I'm going to pretend that no one else is listening to this conversation. When I think a guy is really attractive, I can't look him in the eye.
No one can.
And I get like I get like a little bit like, and I get a little like dismissive and weird because I don't know what to do because you're attractive. So I won't look them in the eye. I'll just be like, and then my vein pops out of my head. So if you're wondering if I think you're cute, now you got to give it away.
Okay, so Sarah, here's what you're gonna do next time: is don't do that. That's called disassociation, Sarah. You need to like. I mean, the thing is just like if I think you're attractive, I probably won't even go up and talk to you. Like that's
really, you're so confident, but you wouldn't.
No, that's my confident. Okay, I'm confident in many things. I'm confident in so many things. But if I don't know you, like I'm not trying to inconvenience your life. I'm not trying to get up in your grill because I'm not trying to be over here with my friends. If you want to come up and talk to me, that's cool. Like last night, for example, we were at the karaoke bar, made a new friend last night. He also has Mariah Carey whistle tone range. Dead ass.
I know when you called me and told me that, I was like, I cannot wait to hear.
I'm just like, I can't wait for him to come sing on Sunday. It's going to be great. Oh, speaking of, I need to get the music together for Sunday. Ugh. Yeah. Ugh. See, this is what happens when you get back to your regular town and your regular life. You got to work on shit. Anyways, yeah, I don't really like talking to new people right off the bat unless I absolutely have to. I usually wait for somebody else to initiate, and then I will be completely conversational. But I have a friendly face. I also work on my resting face, which is usually this. And for those of you who are not on, if you're listening to this later, it was just me having a very pleasant face.
Yeah, we worked hard on our pleasant faces because apparently I have an intimidating face. So I'm working really hard on not having an intimidating face.
You have an
I got told I was intimidating.
By whom? You're like 5'0" nothing.
Okay, 5'4", first of all, which is average.
That's great.
I just wear heels all the time. I don't know why. But I'm only laughing because I think people would think that you and I are really confident when it comes to that world, and we're just not. And we're both introverted.
It's one of those things where like if I ever am going to talk to somebody and like I'm trying to play it up, I will absolutely put on a character. Like I pretend. Because like here's the difference. What is the difference between somebody who is confident and somebody who's like pretending to be confident? You can't tell the difference. All it is them doing what you want to do. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, I actually do want to talk to that person. I'm just afraid of the rejections. But like, and also it's one of those things where it's just like, I'm getting better about it. I will say like, the more I am myself in public, like for example, if I go to the Shaka Khan Hacienda, which is this dance party in Atlanta that happens on Sunday nights, super fun, super queer, super outdoorsy. And the last time I went there was like beginning of summer. I was wearing my bright green dress and I was so fucking confident and I talked to everybody and I flirted with whoever I wanted to and I made out with a nice Jewish daddy. And that was like me wearing a dress. And like, if I was dressed like this, where I'm like, kind of like, femme punk kid, I don't know. I probably wouldn't talk to anybody because I'm just like, guys like that are not into girls like this.
Oh, because you feel too seen.
It's just like I'm not looking. I don't want to be rejected.
Yeah, I 100%.
So that's why I usually like I wait for other people to make the move because I
Except I don't know they're making the move, as we've learned recently in my life.
That's the thing. Is people. That's the thing. People will make a move or like move in and they're just like they're flirting with us and like. I have been told that I am a flirt though. That's the thing.
You are. You're a cute flirt.
And I don't.
But I think you don't do it when it's serious. I think when you're actually interested in the person, I don't think you do it.
No, when I'm actually into a person, this is my flirting. I'm very into you, and I think that we should have sex. What do you think about that? And I'm dead. Like that's how I do. Or I'm just like, hey, I think I'm having a lot of fun with you, and I want to see you again.
That feels like really nice confidence.
Yeah, and like that for me is my kind of flirting, but it's going to be with somebody who probably I'm not opening with that. I'm not breaking the ice with that. I'm not. But that because I'm not really good at. Because it is flirting just being nice and interested. Because if that's flirting, then I literally flirt with everyone.
I think mine's a little immature. I think I still have the like, I'm gonna like pick on like I'm gonna. I don't know, pick on you and you pick on me. And that feels so like dumb. Like,
yeah, you should stop that immediately.
I know. I try and then I don't. And then I
Okay, so let's break it down real quick. When you mean I know and I try, but then I don't, what does that mean? What happens?
I just get defensive.
What's the sequence of give me the sequence of events?
Oh gosh. Like a guy is being super coy or whatever, and I'll be like, what do you even know?
Give me a specific example.
I can't think of one. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We can totally change subjects because now I'm getting uncomfortable in the vein in my head.
No. We're not going to leave. This is a good time to work this out. Like,
in public, that feels right.
Why not?
Why not? I think for me, it's just this sort of like I grew up in Canada and then moved to the South. And so I was a sorority girl and we learned how to be coy, to act like we don't know they're interested in us. But I think the problem is like, I've somehow made that into the story. That's like, I don't think they're that interested in me. So I'm going to act like I'm not that interested in them. Because then I don't have to be hurt. Right. Because it was my choice. Mm-hmm. Right. So an example is a very nice gentleman the other night who was, he was attractive, is attractive.
Still presently, not dead. Did not die between now and the taping of this show.
Spending time with me. Did not kill him. But he was trying really hard. And my friends were like, he's flirting with, and I literally said to them, he's so good looking. Why would he do that? Because in my narrative, a guy that is, used to just having female attention, I wasn't going to be another girl to give him attention. Meanwhile, couldn't take my eyes off him. He's a good looking dude. But I feel like this like defensiveness around, and then I don't want anyone to know that I could be interested. Right. Which is just, it's like toxic masculinity coming in from all sides. Right.
Yeah.
Like it's the Nicholas Sparks, like we have to act like we don't actually like each other, but maybe we like each other. And then when someone is being,
it's drama. You kind of love the drama a little bit.
Adult, and he's like trying to like get to know me, and I'm like, no, and I think that realizing that that's happening, and has been really like a block in my life is really good just to think through. So, Richard Brown, right? I get those feels. Women at a party tell me I'm flirting with the men when I'm actually just trying to have a conversation. But when I actually try, I'm useless.
Same. Like, so I'm like, because like for me, like if like flirting, if someone's intentionally trying to flirt, like, hey, I don't like. Whenever I think of flirting, I think of something manipulative, and I know that's not necessarily it. Because if flirting is just being kind and being interested and like, just like, I don't know, enjoying somebody's presence with maybe a little bit of physical affection involved, then sure, I flirt. But like, I also feel like there is like, it doesn't always have to be sexualized, you know?
Well, and I'm someone, and you are someone who's really attracted by people's intellectual abilities.
Oh my God! If you're good at holding a conversation, if you can run, I want you to run circles around me, bitch. I want you to blow my mind. I want you to say something so interesting that I am gobsmacked, and then we can just sit in the silence. That's what I want. I want someone who writes poetry.
Oh, okay.
Mm,
This is the part of like I just love because we've been friends for so long and I feel like we know each other so well, but I love
mm.
seeing this like romantic side of you. Like I
Yeah.
love seeing the like because you can't control it. I think the whole part is because of all the pain I've gone through,
Mm,
um, I can't control how you're gonna welcome me or accept me. And so it's easier for me to come out of the gate a little cold, a little like I can
mhm,
flirt with guys, whatever, but it's easier for me to come from I'm too much for anyone to be able to
mhm.
handle. So, which I'm not, guys. I'm not too much of a
No.
human at all.
No,
I'm not
that's
a
the thing is
drama
like
queen. I'm not any
you're
of these
you're
things.
actually really pleasant to be around. And and that's the thing, is just like you just have to remember, is what I say to myself, I am such a blessing.
Yeah, and it's like kind of the reminder that like I have friends who are really difficult and are still loved because the person they're around is able to meet those needs
One hundo. Like
and this
that's the motherfucking tea. Is like you gotta recognize, just like, you know, people who are more difficult to be around than you. Don't play. Don't
I know.
fucking play.
And I love that M Forbes came up with that is an amazing RPF, which is resting pleasant face. Yeah, I think good
I mean, it's
conversations.
actually, it's kind of like what I like. I think when I think about like our logo, that's my resting pleasant face. Like,
Hmm, yeah, same.
sorry.
I know my friends, I was creating a dating profile, and my friends, I have done some modeling type things in the past and then have a lot of
Mm,
headshots and things like that. And my friends are like, you can have no, you are not allowed to have any of your professional photos on there. Cause even though they do look like you look
mm.
like angry or it's just, you're
It's
not
really
that
fucking
person.
intense. It's really fucking
Right.
intense.
You're not that person.
I would
You
usually say like you're allowed to have one sexy like glamour shot. Everybody's allowed one.
I don't have any on mine currently. I did a
Well,
dating profile, guys. I'm not good at it, but I have one.
we will do a special edition episode where we get you to link your phone up with your computer so we can view it and swipe with you.
Oh, no, thanks.
That's going to
I
be on
think
the
it's
that's going to be on the Patreon live stream feed, you
mhm.
guys.
You guys wanna know so, I gotta tell you can I tell I'm gonna tell one little so
This
I
is your
did
show, Sarah. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
I know, I had the meeting a fellow the other night, he has a job that many people find very attractive, and so as I was telling Kevin about his job, uh, Kevin kept saying, "You keep referring to him by his work, but you know what his name is. You're
Mm-hmm.
making a block between you and him." And
Mm-hmm.
it was. I was just calling him by his name because his profession is one that people make calendars out of. He's not a stripper, but he and I was excited about meeting this person, but also like I was nervous about it. It was weird for me. I haven't done that in so long. And because of COVID, because of being in a relationship for a long, a while. And so I kept calling him this name because I wanted to feel like the funny girl who like, meets the
Oh, just going out with just the guy, just some guy.
just a dude. And he was like, he has a name and he sounds great. So why don't you call him by his name? So
Mm-hmm. Humanize
guys,
him. And the thing is just like,
humans.
because like it's also like I think that like when we can love and appreciate somebody at every phase of a relationship, even before we are
Right.
romantically involved, like it really is an honoring thing, you know? And so
Well, and
like,
helps you feel like they're a human. So if they don't choose you, it's because something in them, that's not what they want. Like it's not,
yeah,
it doesn't only help them, right? Humanizing them doesn't just help them, it helps you as well. Like it's okay, we weren't a match for you, but maybe you're not the best thing that's ever happened. So I am
yeah.
grateful
Do you know
to
why he's not the best thing that ever happened? It's because you're the best thing that ever happened, Sarah.
stop it.
Mm.
I mean,
Oh.
this story is yet to be written. Who knows? I have no idea.
No, but the thing is just like that's the attitude I have about myself. I'm the best thing to ever happen to me.
Mm,
Like everything else is just cake after that, you know? You're
yeah.
the best thing to ever happen to you.
Yeah, Joshua Harris. Write that book, bitch.
Except for not, because then you'd be stealing from a queer person, and that's like, you ready to get canceled again, girl? Yeah, steal my book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
so that we did great. We talked about dating. I didn't turn that red. My vein is not in the middle of my
yeah,
head.
you're normal. You're totally fine. And also, thank you for being vulnerable. I think that was nice.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully I didn't give away too many details. Nothing has happened.
The thing about
I
it,
don't know
like,
if you
if
guys.
like HIPAA violations is just like, you can talk about job, you can talk about things, you just can't actually name them or where they live or like who their families are,
Right. Also, like, I don't think that this person that I met the other night would listen to our podcast. So we're
Also,
fine.
they're not really on social media. So like, this is
True.
also something like we're both like, I think this is something congruent. We're both into people who are not really into social media as much as we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
that's true.
I also hate the fact that I say that I'm into social media. Who the
I
fuck is
know,
into? It's not that I'm into it. It's that like
but we
I'm
are.
so integrated into this fucking system that I don't know how to pull myself out at this point.
I also think it's given us a chance to be able to care for people in the way that we want to across. Like, I look at all the names, guys, when you're all saying where you're from, do you know how much that
Mhm.
means to me? As someone who grew up in so many different places and spaces, it means so much to me that people from
Mhm.
all over the world, all over the country log in and listen. Because to me,
Mhm.
that means I get to be in community with people from all over.
Mhm.
Um, I, I wouldn't being an influencer, whatever the hell that means. That's not my goal, but I think there is something beautiful about being able to offer a different perspective for the kid who, for the girl who has never seen a woman be a pastor, be herself, go on dates, be like whatever. Okay, I'll be that person. That's okay. But I think it's okay to say that's what I part of that.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, thank you so much. So, Bougie Hippie Life, which is just
Bougie
a
hippie
great
life from
name. It's so good.
Texas.
Um,
Um,
Thank you
well,
so much. We're so glad. But they said each of us are our own first loves, and that's true.
yes. So right now I'm gonna do a hard pivot into we didn't answer any questions last week, so we wanted to take some
I
extra time
know we've
this
got
week
a ton
to
here now.
answer some cues. So we have no particular theme this week. We're just going through the inbox. So do you want to start out with some things that you had?
This one's gonna be kind of a hard one, but I think it'd be good. Okay.
All right, cool.
What is your favorite second wave of COVID pastimes if we're going to have to go back down into lockdown?
Oh, what is going to be the thing I do if we have to go back into lockdown?
Which we do have to go, right?
I mean, I will say this, like I'm just wearing a mask when I go inside places right now. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to I'm not going to be like outdoor seating at bars if possible, and also like I'm still not cool with like being like it's summertime. I like being outdoors when I'm drinking. That's just like me.
Yeah.
Um so what are we going to do?
Is there something from COVID that you want to take into your next? Like,
I
is
mean,
there a thing?
like like I just kept my practices the whole time. I just did yoga and
Mhm.
meditated and smoked a lot of weed. So like I guess like I'll just keep doing that. I didn't pick I started coloring. I like coloring as like just like when I'm bored. Um I'm currently trying to like tame my yard right now because of the overgrowth. Now like there's dead grass sitting on top of the grass and it's just like I need to go through with the thing and like suck it up with the mulcher. So I'm currently the only thing I'm working about is like my yard is kind of a fucking mess right now.
We've got a bunch of folks who are watching this live. So what is your thing that you like was a
Yeah.
pastime that you picked up that's new that you want to take into
Yeah.
whatever's next? Because I think
Yeah. Let us know in the chat. The question is, say it one more time.
so the question was, what is your favorite second wave of COVID pastime going to be? So like what is something that you want to bring? Shane says they've remained at home as much as possible despite being vaccinated, still continuing to do
Mm-hmm.
so. I'll probably just keep doing what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think something that I have brought with me is setting up my time where the first thing I do in the morning is work out.
Mm-hmm.
I bring my dog. So living, this is when that happened. I having that time in the morning for me is something I don't think I'll ever go back on.
Mm-hmm.
And if I work for a company or a corporation, I think the truth is I'll say I don't start till 9 or 10 because I have to have that time in the morning.
That is also something that since I've been getting back here to my house, like meditating first thing in the morning and doing yoga first thing in the morning, I'm never going back. I just feel too good and I can't do that. Megan said she's learning the ukulele. Might actually take online courses if we do a lockdown again. Charlotte, I'm trying to get this huge stack of unread books. Let's talk about that. I am Audible queen all the way because that's the
Same.
only way I've been getting through books is doing that. Also, guess the fuck what I'm gonna do. Treatment's still gonna call. I'm gonna keep you posted. Sounds good. Do you know my friend Blake Mundell?
I don't think so.
He lives in Nashville. He is a musician / also is the he's like the PT or like whoever is in charge or the like physical therapist and massage therapist for the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, you've told me about them. Also, I'm thinking about becoming a masseuse, but we can talk about that later.
Wow, I'm really into this. I'm loving all these things coming in.
I know, me too. Sketching cartoons and doing watercolor. People are doing tarot card readings, which is 100% you, bitch.
100. I did it. Things I really am trying to like get back into is we've been developing. Also, thank you for using the they pronoun. I like the way I felt hearing it. Yeah, because see, like this is something like they're talking about you. Yeah, you were referring to Blake. Blake does use he, him pronouns, but it was really nice to see that you just didn't assume he was a dude.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing. 10-10. But yeah, I really I'm gonna like I think like I've got like I'm creating kind of like a little bit more of like a complex schedule for myself. As far as like creating content is concerned and really trying to but push more into the Patreon community and like figure out how to do a little more witchy things, you know? I'm really digging it.
I love it. So both of us have kind of got back into I feel like for me, it was a reset in learning how to schedule my life, especially because I was coming into this time where my life could just not have a schedule at all. And so learning that balance is really important for me. And so I have to have this. I have to have this. Not have to, it's just helpful for.
Right.
So, Bougie Hippie Life says dancing as much as I can. I love dancing. I mean, I grew up doing it.
I have a cue here that I think would be interessante.
Go into
this comes. Person asks, "How do you stop feeling guilty about how people will feel? The job I'm currently filling is completely a volunteer position, and no one's going to leave it once I leave. So I guess the question is, how do you leave with those things considered?" So let's back it up real quick. It's not a job. That is a volunteer position. You are not being paid. That is not a job.
Right.
You are not being paid. How do you stop feeling guilty about it? Do you want to start or should I start?
You start on the volunteer side and then I can talk to anyone on the other.
Okay, here's the deal. How do you stop feeling guilty? You decide, like, the thing is, you don't want to do this. You want to leave. You've made that clear, but you feel guilty about it. Why do you feel guilty? Because no one's going to fill that position. But the thing is, you don't want to be at this church apparently. So why do you care?
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like, I understand that you like these people, that they're your family or whatever, but at the same time, you are being duplicitous right now. You are not being actually authentic with them. And so really, I'm going to tell you, just fucking leave. You will feel better later. Because at the end of the day, I understand why you want to hold on. I understand that you want to leave well, that you want to do right by them. And at the same time, they're going to be fine. They will find some other person to fill your spot because guess what? It is like you said, it is a volunteer position.
Yeah.
And also, if no one wants to fill it, you might want to consider like if you've been being taken advantage of.
I also want to say sometimes we take up space that someone else could step into. And we don't realize that by we don't want to do the thing anymore, but we think no one could possibly do it the
Mm,
way that we did it. Yeah, no one is going to do it the way that you did it, but they might do it differently, and it might open up a whole new thing.
mhm.
My experience having left my position, so I was a lead pastor at a church, a wonderful church, wonderful
Wonderful
people,
church. Beautiful gowns.
wonderful. And I was
If you
so
know the beautiful
afraid.
gowns reference, please tell me in the chat. Sorry, keep going.
I was so afraid that people would forget me and that the church would fall apart without me. It is not falling apart. They're doing great. And I realized that for so long I've been telling people that we can trust the divine, we can trust the nature of the divine, and
Mhm.
yet I wasn't willing to do it. So
I was wondering when you were going to say it, girl. Shit.
and so to step out and
Drag yourself.
so sometimes you just have to say, if I really truly believe that there is goodness in this divine nature of things, then for me to step out because it's not giving me life and bringing me wholeness means that someone else is meant to step in, or the thing didn't need to exist.
Hmm. My.
And the problem is so many of us are walking around hoping, I don't, we don't always talk about it, but the Enneagram 3 thing for me is like, I just want someone to affirm me that I can do all this and look at me and I'm a 2 wing. So I just want to make sure that, and you have to evaluate why you're staying in something. Are you staying in it because you think
Mm-hmm.
that you are giving the best and getting the best back? Or are you staying in it because you want the recognition for, look at
Mm.
me, I'm doing all this work, and you don't
Do
even
you, and
sometimes
also because you think that you have to, do you think that you
you
have to do
think
this?
that you have to. And I got stuck in that the other day. I heard a bunch of pastors talking and I wanted to be like, I know the suffer. Like I wanted to be. And then I thought, no, I can admit that, like, yeah, for me, it was such a great experience. And I knew that if I continued in it, it wouldn't be a great experience anymore. I knew that it was time for
Mm-hmm.
me to step out. And my passions and my loves, like I didn't pursue some of my passions because I thought they were too selfish, like being an actress and all
Mm-hmm.
these things. And like, it's time for me to evaluate and say, nobody stopped me other than me. There was
Yeah.
no, yeah. So people didn't.
Ooh, I just want to, Sarah, I just want to give like, ooh, no one was getting in my way but me. Bow, bow,
Uh,
bow, bow, bow.
yeah, you
Motherfucker.
have
Isn't
to.
that so frustrating, but so
It
wonderful
is.
to realize?
It is. To be able to say there is, I don't know what's next, but it's something,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to believe. And I'm starting to. You pick on me, and I don't think it's an unfair picking on. Um, I do know what's next. I know what I'm good at.
It's
I
not even picking on you. I'm just telling you what you know. I'm the psychopath over here I'm just cheering you on.
yeah. Um, and you just have to kind of let it go. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
to breathe in and breathe out and believe that what is for you will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
What is
What
meant
is, go ahead. You go
what is
say it.
meant for you will come to you. What you're meant to do will feel, yeah, it might be hard work, but there's going to be an ease. There's
Mm-hmm.
going to be an ease around it. And the obligation language and the we got to just keep this thing going and everybody needs to suffer for it to, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
What wholeness
No
and
more.
goodness are we bringing to the world? Because we will be known by the fruits of our
Mm-hmm.
labor. And if the fruits of our labor are burnout,
Mm.
anger,
Mm.
frustration,
Say it.
who wants a volunteer that hates what they're doing?
Hello. I
Churches,
don't,
but in general.
and that's the thing is like, I don't want to do anything. You know how I keep talking about? I don't want to do anything that's not fun no more. I don't want to continue to like you said, we don't need to keep suffering. We don't need to continually build spaces. Like it's almost just like there's all these concessions that are constantly made all of the time. You know what I'm saying? We're constantly saying, well, just like, like, well, we can just settle for this. Like I'm done settling. I'm done settling. And I don't think we need to be settling any longer. What we need to do is actually like uh be as strong as we are and just demand that it's like, like if I'm not going to do this with joy, if I'm not going to do this with like happiness, if this is not brewing compassion in me, I'm not doing it.
And there's a
Like,
difference between settling and being like content.
like
Content
the,
is within reach.
mhm,
Content is something that you can do when you just go, oh man, I am just sitting.
mhm,
Today was enough. I am enough. That's
mhm,
contentness, right? That's like sitting in this deep
mhm,
knowing, this inner knowing that so many of us have been told to ignore. If we
mhm,
sit in it, and in moments, sometimes we'll go, I'm in this deep
mhm,
knowing I can settle in this,
mhm,
or I can be content in this. Settling is like, well,
mhm.
nothing better will come along.
Yeah.
Contentment, I think, is a sense of like,
Mhm,
this is really good, and if something even better shows up, that
mhm.
will also be really
You know what
good.
they call that? The pace that passeth understanding.
Understanding. God, we can't not be preachers, damn us.
And I mean, it's one of, and like I'm thinking like I've been reading Ram Dass's "Be Here Now," and I just fucking I
Mm,
can hear his words off coming off the page. But he's like, we've been told it's out there, it's out there, it's out there. So we go far enough outside of ourselves. We try to go all the way out thing, but really like the journey is in
mm,
further and even further past contentment, even further past joy and bliss, going past that thing where it's just like that ineffable, you know, people say like the finger pointing at the moon, but it's just like the isness, this, uh,
mm.
you know, the holy instant, as we would call it in A Course in Miracles, nirvana,
Ooh,
you know.
Nirvana. I'm old enough that that band means a lot to me.
So it's one of the like I think there is something to like this thing of to go back to the original question about this person who's like asking like uh, how do you stop feeling guilty about it? You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like
Um,
just remind yourself like this is not my responsibility anymore.
my friend always says, "Will it matter in 5 years?"
Will it matter next week? Shit, fuck 5 years. Is it gonna matter when you're at brunch next week? No, it's not. You know why? Because you're gonna get a joint. You're going to get a little sweet treat.
Or not.
Also, oh yeah, unless you don't want to drink or don't want to smoke, because I don't want you to do anything that you don't want to do. You know, I'm in Dare. I learned about Dare. I won an essay contest for Dare.
Of course you did. A fucking
Third
course
grade.
you
I
did.
talked about how drugs is bad and how they can take away your dreams.
Um, I have got some the other questions I have. I'm looking at them right now, and they're all pretty funny, but they're not
No, I
like
love. Let's get at least one or two funnies.
um what is your favorite breakfast food? Someone asked me that.
Ooh, everybody in the chat also hit us up. What do you got?
Um,
Um,
do you want to oh, you have the chat up on the screen. I'm
yeah.
looking at you, so I didn't even notice. Okay. Um, what is your favorite breakfast food?
What is
Then
your
they
favorite
put
breakfast
something
food,
like
Sarah?
men want to know. That's my friend who put that question.
Mm. My favorite breakfast food. I mean, recently it's been just like egg and like some like egg and bacon and I'm just like just doing a lot of like meat and vegetable things. Like
Mm.
that's my shit right now. So it's I would say like but like if I'm ever saying like I want someone to make it for me, I love old school French toast with a thick like make it with challah. That's what I
Oh, I
want.
want to make you French toast. We'll do that. We're gonna see each other soon. So yes.
Well, will you make it with challah?
Yep.
That's the shit, man.
Um, I think my favorite breakfast food, I've got two. One of them is the thing that anyone who's ever traveled with me to any foreign country, or actually people around here know. I love bagels and lox. I have a weird ass gluten thing where if I eat too much bread, I get a rash and I start to itch. But I love smoked salmon with capers, some like onion. Like I love bagels and lox. So I will eat it and I will scratch, but it is totally worth
Nasty.
it. I know. But the thing
Nasty.
I make for myself is a breakfast scramble with eggs, a bunch of vegetables, turkey bacon, a lot of cheese, whew, and also avocado. That's my
Mm,
go-to breakfast currently.
that sounds delicious.
It's so good. I think, did I make it for you? My breakfast scramble? I use the everything bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's in there. Trader
I
Joe's
don't know.
is a grocery store for those of you who are either out of state or out of country.
I don't know.
So if you want to invite us to breakfast, now you know how to do it. Okay, next question. Do you have a question that you want to?
Yeah, this one's in our inbox. It says, I am wondering how to get rid of a childhood friend that I just don't want to be friends with and not hurt their feelings too much. This person was at my elementary school in 3rd grade and then moved 100 miles away. Anyways, I don't really care about talking or hanging out with her anymore. So what are your thoughts? This one's easy for me.
You go first.
Okay. Is this, well, because like my thing is just like, is this person like, if they're 100 miles away, they're still talking, you're still in contact, you know, start, if you want to like let it down slow, you can just do the slow ghost if you want to, but I don't recommend that. Like, but just like, the thing is like, my question, like, do you have like, if you don't want to hang out with him, you just really got to be upfront with him. Just like, hey, listen, we live 200 miles away. Like I'm focusing on other things where our lives are in different directions. So like, if I'm not responding as much, it's not because I don't care. It's just because like, it's just like, we've just drifted apart. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that like, our relationships change. Just like, you know, just like everything.
I've had a couple of really interesting situations lately where folks, and someone might even be on right now, but where people have reached out to me that I was their pastor, and we did not have as much of a friendship as I'm a lot older than them. Like, there's several of these folks who are like, oh, now we can hang out, and I'm like, no, because you may be able to think of me as a friend, but to me, I'm still going to feel like I need to be, because I was a youth pastor for 6.5 years. So I'm going to still feel like I need to be like slinging out some good, I can't show up as the Sarah who, you know, is fully showing up as myself. So I think when someone has been your friend, like been in your life, I won't even say friend, been in your life since you were smaller, understand that like that you feel this sort of like, I need to be kind. But I think, you know, the truth is something that Kevin has taught me in my life is like, clarity is kindness. And so recently I said to someone, hey, I actually am doing this thing. And I need to be separated from kind of the work that I was doing before. And I know that you don't see me as this, but I see you as that. And I just need the space, and I really appreciate you understanding. So I think to say to the person like, hey, I, you know, ghost for a little while, but if they keep coming back at you, I think it's okay to say, hey, it's really hard for me to step outside of, you know, it's just not like, I'm not going to work to maintain this friendship. That is a terrible way. Don't say it that way.
Yeah. It just, be like, hey, I fucking hate you.
No, don't say that.
Just be like, you're a dumb bitch and get the fuck away from me. I never loved you.
Stop it.
You killed my family.
No, none of that is true. No, basically, I think it's being kind and saying,
yeah, don't say that to them.
I really valued who you were in my life and who you are in my life, but right now, this is what I need more of.
Yeah.
Just saying your needs.
And bitch, it's not you.
I mean, I once had a boyfriend tell me, we need to break up because I need to circle the horses. Circle the wagons. Circle the wagons with horses. I don't know. I'm like I'm not even I can't even blame it. Yeah. But basically he was like, I just need to be more local. And I was like, all right, Wendellberry, calm your tits.
Calm your tits, Wendell. Well, I think we've got time for like maybe uno mas question, if you've got one.
I don't have a good one.
Do you hear the thunder? Whoa. No. Well, that means that the powers is going to flicker. So like we should probably wrap up so like we don't lose it in the middle of the stream.
Okay.
Well, friends, scholars, and everyone who has joined us throughout this evening, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Your Favorite Aunts.
And we mean it when we say you're our friends.
Yeah, we're really happy. Yeah.
Even this person I had to tell that I didn't. Anyway, I'm feeling really guilty. I'm going to go and eat some cheese.
Okay.
That's always what I do when I feel
Sarah,
guilty.
can I tell you, like, you live in Oregon right now. Go get yourself a fucking joint and smoke it, girl. Like,
I can't want to do that without, because I don't really know about drugs, so I wouldn't know what to do in that world.
girl, ask the bud tender. Like, you're an adult, but you can Google this. You can get on YouTube how to smoke a joint, and you could do it.
The only time I've ever gone to a dispensary was with you, and you saw how I was like.
No, literally, just walk in and be like, "Hey, I don't know. I want to get a pre-roll."
Hello, I am an adult who goes to. I would like.
No, don't lie.
I would like to have an alcohol.
Yeah, but don't get. No, you're at a dispensary. Right. You don't say an alcohol at a dispensary, Sarah.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's the level of. I would walk up and say, "Hello, I would like some
Sarah,
drugs."
You are not a 14-year-old in Canada. You are a 40-year-old adult, amazing, powerful, sexy woman who knows that she wants a pre-roll. And all you got to do is walk in the damn place and say, "Hello, I would like a pre-roll, please." And like, "What kind do you like?" Just like, "I'm not sure. Could you tell me about something?" And they'll say, "Would you like this feeling or this feeling?" "I like that feeling." "Okay, well, these things might give you this feeling." "Okay, I'll pick that one." That's how it goes.
And then if it gets weird, do I just call you in?
What's getting weird?
I don't know.
Why would anything weird happen? You're just smoking a joint.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I should be like, "Hey."
What do you mean doing?
I don't know.
What do you think one does? What do you think you're doing? Like that's the thing. Like you're not doing anything.
It was so fun hanging out with everyone. And your favorite dance happens weekly.
Every single week, most of the time.
Thursdays,
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Please, it's been so fun. I love hanging out with my best friend. I love that you guys join us.
It's truly a treat and a dream.
I know. The best advice I have for you today.
Mm-hmm. What's the best advice you got for the people for the week to send them off into the future? What you got, Sarah?
Make sure you wash your sheets every week.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
I can hear the thunder. Be careful and be safe.
I'm not going anywhere.
I don't know. It seems ominous.
Except for just kidding. I'm gonna go get my friend Blake, and we're probably gonna go. Oh, what? I might just tell him just to come here and hang out with me at the house.
'Cause it's gonna get dark and stormy.
Well, it's already dark. It's so strange. My best advice for you guys this week is to stay out, get off social media a little bit more. Like I spent the afternoon just watching cartoons, and staying away from it, and I just felt a whole lot better after I did that for myself. So like that, and also remember to take your fucking medication. That's just mostly for me. Just need to remember to medication.
We love you.
We love you. Thank you for tuning in. You are an amazing human, and we'll see you later. Comment, share, subscribe. Also, do you have anything you want to support? Anything you want to promote right now?
No, I would love everyone to check out last week's show with Blake. It was so fun to do.
Yes, and then also go listen to the Exvangelical conversation that dropped today. It was. Yes. We're so smart. We're like, let me tell you what, this show, we're like trash, but like that show, we were just like, wow, we really know what we're talking about. God damn.
It's as if we both have master's degrees in this shit.
Or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'm Kevin. That's Sarah, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Next week. Bye.